When someone disrespects you, the first thing they are looking for is a reaction. They want to see if they can get under your skin. They want to test if they can throw you off balance, if they can pull you into their storm. And this is where most people lose their power, because the moment you snap back emotionally, you hand over control. You've shown them that their words, their actions, their energy can dictate how you feel and how you behave. That's exactly what they wanted. If you want to maintain your strength in that moment, the most important thing you can do is refuse to react emotionally. You stay calm, you stay composed, you show them that their disrespect has no power over you. This isn't about pretending it didn't sting or pretending it doesn't matter. Of course it matters. Disrespect hurts. But strength is not about denying the pain, it's about controlling your response to it. When you don't react emotionally, you send a message louder than any words could ever say. You're telling them, I am unshaken. I am not going to play your game. I'm not going to let you pull me down into the mud with you. That's power. Because anyone can yell, anyone can lash out, anyone can throw back insults, but very few can stand steady in the face of disrespect and not let it rattle them. The truth is, disrespect exposes more about the person giving it than the one receiving it. It shows their insecurity, their lack of control, their lack of discipline. When you react emotionally, you confirm their power. But when you stay calm, you expose them. You show everyone watching that you're the one with control, that you're the one grounded, that you're the one who cannot be shaken by the cheap shots of someone else. You don't need to fight to prove your strength. Your composure proves it for you. Think about the people who command respect in any room. They are not the loudest, they are not the ones throwing out comebacks at every insult. They are the ones who hold themselves steady. They control their voice, their body language, their breathing. They project authority through calmness. That's what you want to embody when someone disrespects you. Breathe, stand tall, keep your voice steady if you choose to speak, or choose silence if that's more powerful. But above all, keep your emotions in check, because once your emotions spill out, you've handed your power away. There's a psychology behind this. When someone disrespects you, they are trying to provoke a reaction that makes them feel superior. Maybe they want to humiliate you in front of others. Maybe they want to test if they can push your buttons. Maybe they are projecting their own insecurity onto you. But if you give them anger, you've rewarded their behavior, you've let them win. The strongest response is no visible reaction at all. Not a flinch. Not a raised voice. Not a defensive explanation. You let their disrespect hang in the air, and your calmness makes it feel heavier for them. Not for you. This doesn't mean you tolerate it. This doesn't mean you stay silent forever. It means in that moment, you keep your composure long enough to decide your next move with clarity. Emotional reactions cloud judgment. They make you say things you regret. They make you fight battles that don't even matter. But when you stay calm, you give yourself space to think. You can decide whether this is a person worth confronting, whether it's a battle worth fighting, whether the best move is to set a boundary, call out their behavior, or simply walk away. Calmness gives you options. Anger gives you none, and here's the bigger picture: your ability to control your reaction is what sets you apart in every area of life. In the workplace, in relationships, in public, people are always watching how you handle disrespect. If you lose it, you lose credibility. If you hold steady, you gain respect, even from those who don't like you. People may not admit it, but deep down, everyone respects the person who cannot be shaken. That's the kind of strength people remember. That's the kind of strength that makes others think twice before disrespecting you again. So the next time someone disrespects you, pause. Don't give them the satisfaction of an instant reaction. Take a breath. Ground yourself. Let the silence speak louder than your emotions. Because silence in that moment is not weakness, it's dominance. It's you proving that you are in control of yourself, and no one can take that away from you. Disrespect only has power if you give it power, and your emotions are the fuel it feeds on. Starve it. Stay calm, stay strong. Let your composure do the talking. When someone disrespects you, your instinct might be to take it personally. You might feel like their words are a reflection of your worth, that somehow what they said or did exposes something about you. But here's the truth most people miss. Disrespect is not about you, it's about them. It's a mirror of who they are, not who you are. Their actions, their tone, their behavior is simply a projection of what's going on inside of them. And if you can understand this, you take away their power over you. Think about it this way. A person who feels good about themselves, who is secure, who is confident, who has nothing to prove, does not need to put other people down. They do not need to insult, humiliate, or belittle. They treat people with respect because they respect themselves. But someone who disrespects you is revealing cracks in their own foundation. They are showing you their insecurity, their lack of discipline, their lack of emotional intelligence. They are showing you that they have to push someone else down in order to feel taller. And that right there is weakness disguised as strength. When you start to see disrespect for what it is, a reflection of the other person, you stop letting it define you. This is where emotional control comes in. If you buy into their disrespect and internalize it, you carry their poison with you. You start believing lies that have nothing to do with your value. But if you recognize that what they're doing says more about them, you strip away their power. You can look at them and think, this is not about me. This is about whatever they're struggling with inside themselves. And suddenly you're free. Free from the weight of their words, free from the sting of their tone, free from the idea that you have to prove anything to them. It doesn't mean it won't hurt. Of course, disrespect stings. But it's what you do with that sting that matters. Do you take it and make it your identity, or do you see it as a window into who they are? The reality is, disrespectful people are broadcasting their insecurity. When they disrespect you, they're saying, I don't know how to handle my own feelings, so I'm going to try to dump them on you. They're saying, I don't feel strong enough in myself, so I need to make you feel smaller. And the more you understand this, the easier it is to hold your ground, because you know it's not about your weakness. It's about theirs. Here's something most people don't realize. When someone disrespects you and you let it sink in, you're actually letting them transfer their insecurity into your mind. It's like they're handing you a package full of their self-doubt, their anger, their bitterness, and you accept it as if it belongs to you. But it doesn't belong to you. You don't have to carry it. The most powerful move you can make is to recognize, this package isn't mine, it's theirs, and I'm not accepting delivery. I'm not letting their lack of self-respect become my problem. You'll notice that the strongest people in the world, mentally, emotionally, physically, don't waste energy on disrespectful people. They see it, they understand it, and they move on. Because they know it's not worth their time to wrestle with someone else's insecurity. They know who they are. And that's the kind of strength you want to build. A deep, unshakable sense of self-worth that is not dependent on the approval or validation of anyone else. Because when you know your value, no amount of disrespect can make you forget it. Now here's the flip side. The way you interpret disrespect also affects the way others see you. If you get defensive, if you lash out, if you try to prove your worth to someone who clearly doesn't respect you, you actually reinforce their narrative. You're playing into their insecurity, giving them exactly what they wanted, to see you shaken. But if you stand steady, if you stay grounded, if you carry yourself like someone who already knows their worth, you flip the script, you expose their weakness, and you highlight your strength. People watching will notice the difference. They'll see who the real strong one is in that interaction, and this is why recognizing that disrespect says more about them than you is such a powerful tool. Because it takes away the sting. It removes the poison. It frees you from carrying baggage that was never yours to carry in the first place. And it shifts the power dynamic instantly. Instead of them having control over your emotions, you have control over the way you interpret their actions. You see them for what they are, and you refuse to let them define you. So the next time someone disrespects you, take a step back in your mind. Instead of asking, why are they doing this to me? Ask, what does this reveal about them? You'll start to notice patterns. You'll see that people who gossip are usually insecure. People who belittle are often threatened. People who attack are usually afraid. And when you see it, it changes everything. You no longer see their words as truth. You see them as evidence. Evidence of who they are, not evidence of who you are. That's what gives you strength. That's what makes you bulletproof in the face of disrespect. The very first time someone disrespects you is the exact moment that sets the tone for how they will treat you moving forward. People will test you, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously, but every single time you allow someone to cross a line without consequence, you are teaching them that your boundaries don't exist. And if you don't define those boundaries, someone else will define them for you. The truth is, boundaries are not about controlling others. They are about controlling yourself, about deciding what you will and will not tolerate. And once you understand this, you start living with a strength that no one can take from you. Boundaries are not walls, they are doors. You decide who comes in, who stays, and who gets removed. Without them, people will walk all over your space, take advantage of your kindness, manipulate your silence, and push further each time until you break. But with boundaries, you are drawing a clear line that says, this is where I end and this is where you cannot cross. The mistake people make is thinking that boundaries make them look harsh or unkind. But in reality, boundaries are the highest form of self-respect. And when you respect yourself enough to enforce them, you teach everyone else how to respect you. Think of a time when someone spoke to you in a way that didn't sit right. Maybe they raised their voice, maybe they insulted you, maybe they dismissed you as if your opinion didn't matter. At that moment, you had two choices. You could stay silent and let it pass, or you could confront it. Most people let it pass, thinking it's not worth it, or maybe they fear conflict. But here's the problem with letting it slide. The first time you ignore it, you've set a precedent. The person now knows you won't push back, and so they'll try it again, and each time it grows worse. But if you confront it immediately, calmly but firmly, you set the tone that this is not acceptable with you. Not now, not ever. Boundaries are about consistency. It's not enough to set them once. You have to reinforce them through your behavior. If you say you won't tolerate disrespect, then you cannot laugh it off when someone disrespects you. If you say you value your time, then you cannot keep giving it away to people who take advantage of it. Every time you fail to enforce your boundary, you weaken it. But every time you stand by it, you make it stronger, and people begin to recognize that you are someone who means what they say. They may not like it, they may not even respect it at first, but they will learn to adjust to it. Here's the reality. People will treat you based on what you allow. If you allow someone to constantly interrupt you, they will keep doing it. If you allow someone to talk down to you, they will keep doing it. If you allow someone to waste your time, they will keep doing it. This is not about them, it's about you, because you are the one setting the rules for your life, whether you realize it or not. And the moment you decide that your dignity, your peace, and your self-respect matter more than avoiding discomfort, that's when you start enforcing boundaries without hesitation. And yes, boundaries will make people uncomfortable. They will test you, they will push back, and sometimes they will even get angry. But that's because boundaries expose the people who benefited from you not having any. They reveal who wanted access to your time, your energy, your kindness, without having to give anything in return. When you start saying no, when you start cutting off disrespect, those people will resist because they are losing the advantage they once had over you. But this is not your problem. Their reaction is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to yourself, to honor your standards and protect your peace. When you enforce a boundary, you are not only protecting yourself, you are also sending a message to the world about your value. You're saying, I value myself enough not to let anyone treat me this way. And that message has power. It changes the way people interact with you. It changes the way they see you. And most importantly, it changes the way you see yourself. Because every time you enforce a boundary, you are reminding yourself that you matter, that your voice matters, that your dignity matters. And the more you practice this, the stronger you get. Boundaries also create clarity. People know where they stand with you. There's no confusion, no guessing. If someone crosses the line, they know they won't get away with it. This eliminates so much unnecessary drama and toxicity in your life, because people who cannot respect your boundaries will naturally fall away. They'll either adjust and learn to treat you with respect, or they'll remove themselves, and either way, you win. You either get respect, or you clear out the people who were never capable of giving it to you in the first place. Remember this. Boundaries are not about pushing people away. They are about letting the right people in. Because the people who truly value you will not be threatened by your boundaries. They will be drawn to them. They will respect them because they respect you. And the people who don't, the ones who complain, criticize, or try to make you feel guilty for standing up for yourself, those are the people you don't need in your life. Boundaries are not selfish, they are necessary. They are the invisible lines that keep your energy intact, your mind clear, and your soul at peace. So the next time someone disrespects you, don't hesitate. Don't tell yourself it's not worth it. Don't minimize what you feel. Don't excuse their behavior. Establish your boundary immediately. It can be as simple as saying, "Don't talk to me that way," or "I'm not available for this," or simply walking away and not giving them the access they want. The key is to act right then, not later, because boundaries delayed are boundaries weakened. You have to strike in the moment with clarity and strength so that they understand you're not someone to test twice. Presence is power. And the truth is, most people don't realize how much authority they carry before they even open their mouths. The way you stand, the way you walk into a room, the way you hold your body, the way your eyes meet someone else's, all of it communicates something long before you speak, and people read it. They feel it. They respond to it. If your presence says you are unsure, that you doubt yourself, that you're shrinking, people will treat you that way. If your presence says you respect yourself, that you're unshackable, that you don't bend for anyone's disrespect, people will think twice before trying to undermine you. Authority is not just about titles or positions. It's about energy. It's about what you radiate when you step into a space. You've seen people who walk in and instantly command attention without saying a word. That's not luck. That's not accident. That's the result of carrying yourself with intention. They've trained themselves to use their presence as authority, and it gives them an advantage in every interaction. When someone disrespects you, you don't always have to fight back with words. Sometimes, your presence alone is enough to silence them. A calm, steady look that doesn't flinch can cut deeper than 100 arguments. Think about this. Your body language often speaks louder than your voice. If you slump your shoulders, avoid eye contact, speak too quickly, or fidget, you send signals of insecurity. And people who want to disrespect you, people who want to push you around, they notice that instantly. But when you square your shoulders, lift your head, slow down your breathing, and maintain eye contact, you project strength. And strength doesn't mean aggression. It doesn't mean yelling. It doesn't mean being intimidating for the sake of intimidation. Real strength is controlled, calm, deliberate. It's a presence that says, "I know who I am, and I don't need to prove it by raising my voice or losing my cool." Presence as authority also comes from being grounded in yourself. You don't chase approval, you don't seek validation, and you don't need the room to agree with you in order to stand tall. When someone disrespects you, they expect you to react. They expect you to break, to lash out, to shrink, to lose control. And when you don't, when you remain steady, it throws them off balance. Because your calm presence shows them that their words, their actions don't penetrate your center. And that makes them lose power. The one who controls their presence always controls the exchange. This doesn't mean you fake confidence. It means you cultivate it through practice. You become aware of how you carry yourself. You slow down instead of rushing. You hold eye contact instead of breaking it. You speak less, but when you speak, you make it count. And over time, your presence begins to carry weight. People feel it without even being able to explain it. They may not like it, they may resist it, but they cannot ignore it. That is what authority looks like. Not a badge, not a title, but a presence that demands respect without needing to ask for it. And presence isn't just physical, it's also emotional. The energy you bring into a space matters. If you walk in bitter, angry, or anxious, people feel it. If you walk in centered, calm, and assured, they feel that too. People will mirror your energy consciously or unconsciously. So when you choose to remain calm and composed, especially in the face of disrespect, you set the tone for how the interaction unfolds. Your authority comes from your ability to regulate yourself, to stand in your strength when others are trying to pull you into chaos. Authority also means silence when it's needed. Sometimes the most powerful response to disrespect is not a lecture, not a debate, not an outburst, but silence paired with a strong presence. A pause. A moment where you just look at the person without reacting, without flinching. That silence, combined with your posture and your gaze, creates tension that forces the other person to reflect on their own behavior. You don't need to fill every space with words. Your presence is enough. Silence is enough. And people learn quickly not to cross someone who holds that kind of authority. Here's what's important. Authority isn't about pretending to be bigger than you are. It's about being aligned with your own value. You don't have to fake anything. You simply need to own yourself fully. That's what creates presence. When you know who you are, when you are secure in your values, when you respect yourself deeply, it shows. And when it shows, others notice. They can sense whether someone values themselves or not. And people who value themselves project authority without even trying. They don't need to convince anyone. They just live it. There's a reason why people say the strongest person in the room is often the quietest. It's not that they're shy. It's that they don't need to prove themselves with noise. Their presence is already doing the work. And when someone disrespects them, they don't have to escalate to match that energy. They hold steady. They let their presence be the reminder that they are not easily moved. That kind of composure creates authority. And authority creates respect. The next time you are disrespected, before you react with words, check your presence. Straighten your body, hold your head high, lock your eyes on theirs if appropriate, and breathe deeply. Speak slowly, or choose not to speak at all. Show them with your energy that you are not rattled, you are not diminished, you are not intimidated. Let your presence be the authority in the room. Because when you learn to master your presence, you don't just demand respect, you embody it, and no one can take that from you. Every single time someone disrespects you, you are faced with a choice. Do I engage, or do I let this one pass? Do I confront, or do I conserve my energy? Most people think that standing up for yourself always has to look like a fight, always has to look like calling the person out, clapping back, or proving a point. But real strength isn't about fighting every single battle that comes your way. Real strength is knowing which battles deserve your time and which ones don't. Because the truth is, not every disrespect needs your reaction. Not every insult requires your defense. And not every person who disrespects you is even worthy of a response. There's a difference between reacting to everything and responding with purpose. Reaction is automatic, it's emotional, it's fueled by impulse. Someone says something slick, you snap back. Someone rolls their eyes, you feel the heat rise in your chest. That's reaction. But response is calculated. Response is strategic. Response is you pausing for just a moment, asking yourself, does this even matter? Will confronting this person change the situation or change me in a meaningful way? Or am I about to give my power to someone who hasn't earned it? This is where wisdom comes in. You have to learn how to weigh the cost of engagement. Some confrontations will leave you drained, angry, and stuck in a cycle with someone who thrives off conflict. You might win the argument but lose your peace. You might put them in their place, but waste hours of energy proving yourself to someone who never mattered in the first place. That's not winning. That's self-sabotage. True victory is walking away with your dignity intact, choosing silence over chaos, and refusing to let someone else's disrespect dictate how you feel about yourself. And don't get it twisted. Choosing not to confront doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're scared. It means you're strong enough to know your value. It means you're smart enough to know when to stand tall and when to walk away. It means you're in control of yourself instead of letting someone else control you. That is power. And that's the kind of power that makes people think twice about disrespecting you again. Because they see that you're not easily baited, you're not predictable, and you're not desperate to prove yourself. Sometimes the most powerful confrontation is no confrontation at all. Think about it. What does a disrespectful person actually want? They want to get under your skin. They want to shake you. They want to feel bigger by making you feel smaller. They want to feed on your reaction. And when you don't give it to them, when you remain calm, when you walk away, when you show that their words or actions can't touch you, you starve them of the fuel they need. You leave them powerless, frustrated, and exposed. That's authority. That's control. That's how you win without ever lifting a finger. But there are times when confrontation is necessary. There are times when silence sends the wrong message. If someone crosses a boundary that threatens your safety, your dignity in a way that cannot be ignored, or your ability to function in your environment, then yes, confrontation is needed. But even then, it doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be dramatic. A simple, direct, firm statement is enough. That is disrespectful, and I don't allow people to treat me that way. I will not engage with you further until you change how you address me. You don't need to scream. You don't need to argue for an hour. You simply set the boundary and then back it up with action. That's confrontation with purpose. That's confrontation that actually protects you instead of draining you. The key is discernment. You must become skilled at asking yourself before every reaction, what's the outcome I want? If my outcome is peace, then is fighting with this person going to give me peace? If my outcome is self-respect, then is lowering myself to their level really self-respect? If my outcome is growth, then is engaging with someone who thrives on disrespect helping me grow? When you know what you want, you won't get pulled into battles that don't align with your outcome. You'll walk away not because you're scared, but because you're focused. Focused on protecting your energy. Focused on protecting your dignity. Focused on protecting your future. There's another layer to this. People watch how you respond to disrespect. Not just the person disrespecting you, but everyone around you. And when they see that you don't waste your time on petty insults, when they see that you pick your battles with intention, when they see that you only confront when it truly matters, you earn respect. Because people respect those who are disciplined with their energy. Anyone can lash out. Anyone can argue. Few can master the art of restraint. Few can walk away without needing the last word. That's what makes your authority different. That's what sets you apart. The reality is, confrontation is not about them. It's about you. It's about deciding what kind of person you want to be in that moment. Do you want to be the person who is controlled by every trigger? Or do you want to be the person who remains in control no matter what? Do you want to be the person who wastes their energy on people who don't matter? Or do you want to invest that energy into building yourself? Every confrontation you choose or choose not to have is shaping your character. It's shaping your future. It's teaching people how to treat you. And more importantly, it's teaching you how to treat yourself, so the next time disrespect comes your way, pause before reacting. Ask yourself, is this confrontation worth my time, my energy, my peace? If the answer is no, walk away. If the answer is yes, respond with calm authority and clear boundaries. Either way, you win. Because you're not being controlled by the moment, you're controlling the moment. And that's what real power looks like. Respect isn't something you demand once and expect it to last forever. Respect is something you teach people every single day through the way you live, the way you act, and the way you carry yourself. Disrespect happens when someone thinks they can cross your line without consequence. But here's the truth: if you're not consistent in your behavior, if you let it slide sometimes and react other times, people will test you again and again. Consistency is what makes your boundaries unshakable. It's not enough to tell someone to respect you once. You have to show through your actions that you mean what you say, that you back up your words with behavior, and that you do not compromise on the way you expect to be treated. Think about it this way. If you walk into a room one day with confidence, shoulders back, head held high, speaking with authority, and the next day you shrink yourself, avoid eye contact, and let others talk over you, people get mixed signals. They don't know who you really are because you're inconsistent. And inconsistency is weakness. When you're inconsistent, people sense it. They sense hesitation, they sense doubt, they sense that if they push just hard enough, you'll fold. But when you are consistent, when every time you show up you carry yourself with respect, when every time someone disrespects you the response is the same, when every time someone tries to push you they hit the same solid wall, people stop testing you. They start recognizing that your standards are not negotiable. Consistency builds credibility. People believe you when your words and actions line up day after day. If you say, "I won't tolerate disrespect," but then laugh it off when someone mocks you, you've just taught them that your words don't matter. If you say, "I value myself," but then you let people walk all over your time and your energy, you've just shown them that your values are flexible. And if you let it slide once, trust me, they will try again. But if you are steady, if you are unshaken, if you respond to disrespect the same way every time, calm, direct, firm, then people start to believe you. They see that you don't bend. They see that you don't fold. And that consistency earns their respect. And now, here's the part most people overlook. Consistency isn't just for other people, it's for you. Every time you enforce a boundary, every time you stand tall, every time you hold yourself to the same standard, you are building self-respect. You are teaching yourself that you are worthy of dignity, worthy of boundaries, worthy of being treated with value. And when you practice that day after day, it becomes automatic. It's no longer a decision you make in the moment. It's who you are. You become someone who doesn't even think twice about what to tolerate and what not to tolerate, because respect isn't something you hope for, it's something you embody. Consistency transforms self. Respect from an idea into an identity. Consistency also keeps you grounded in your values when emotions try to pull you off track. In the heat of the moment, You might want to snap back, to argue, to prove yourself. But consistency reminds you that your power is in control, not chaos. You've already decided who you are and how you respond to disrespect, and that decision doesn't change just because you're angry or triggered. That's why consistent behavior is more powerful than emotional reaction, because it keeps you steady no matter what storm is around you. People notice that steadiness. They notice that you don't flinch, you don't get thrown off balance, you don't act one way today and another way tomorrow. And that steadiness demands respect without you ever having to raise your voice. And make no mistake, consistency is not always easy. People will test you. They will push against your boundaries. They will try to see if you mean it. Sometimes they'll even apologize and then do it again just to check if you're serious. That's when you double down. That's when you show them that your respect isn't up for negotiation. Every single time you hold firm, every single time you enforce your standard, you make it harder and harder for them to try again. Eventually they learn. Eventually they realize that with you there is no back and forth. There is no bending. There is no sometimes. There is only consistency, and here's the beauty of it. Once people learn that about you, the amount of disrespect you face drops dramatically. Why? Because disrespect thrives where it's allowed. It thrives where it gets a reaction. It thrives where there is inconsistency. But when people know you're consistent, they don't waste their time. They move on. They don't poke the bear that doesn't move. And the respect you command isn't just from those who tried to disrespect you. It's from everyone watching. They see how you carry yourself. They see that you're not swayed by moods, not swayed by pressure, not swayed by manipulation, and that consistency makes people trust you, admire you, and yes, respect you. Consistency is about building a reputation, not with the world but with yourself. It's about proving to yourself over and over that you will not betray your standards, you will not lower your value, and you will not compromise your dignity for anyone. When you live like that, respect stops being something you chase. It becomes something you naturally attract. And every time you reinforce it with consistent behavior, you grow stronger, more confident, and more unshakable. The people you allow into your life are the people who shape your energy, your confidence, and your future. If you let disrespectful people into your circle, even in small doses, they begin to chip away at your self-worth. They test your boundaries, they normalize disrespect, and before you know it, you start questioning yourself. That's why protecting your inner circle is not optional, it's survival. You cannot expect to grow, to thrive, to stand tall in your power if you are surrounded by people who make it their mission to belittle you, dismiss you, or pull you down. Disrespect is like poison. It might not kill you immediately, but drip by drip it weakens you. And if you don't cut it out, it will eventually break you. Think about it. Every single person in your inner circle has access to your mind and your heart. They influence the way you think, the way you feel, the way you see yourself. If someone in that circle constantly disrespects you, talks over you, mocks your ideas, ignores your feelings, undermines your confidence, they are not just hurting you in the moment, they are rewiring your brain to doubt yourself. They are training you to accept less than you deserve. And the longer you allow it, the deeper it sinks in. This is why you have to be ruthless about who you let close to you. Not everyone deserves access. Not everyone has earned the right to sit at your table. If someone cannot respect you, they cannot stay. Now let's be clear, protecting your inner circle doesn't mean you cut people off at the first mistake. People are human. They slip up, but there's a difference between someone who accidentally offends you and apologizes, and someone who consistently shows disregard for your feelings, your time, and your value. The first type is human. The second type is toxic. And toxic people don't belong in your life. When someone repeatedly disrespects you, they are telling you who they are. Believe them. Don't waste time hoping they'll change. Don't fall for their excuses. Don't lower your standards because you're afraid of being alone. Being alone with your dignity intact is far better than being surrounded by people who tear you down. Protecting your inner circle also means you must raise the standard of the relationships you allow. If respect is your non-negotiable, then anyone who wants to stay in your life has to match that standard. This doesn't mean everyone has to agree with you or flatter you. Respect isn't about agreement, it's about acknowledgement. You can disagree with someone and still respect them. You can challenge someone and still value them. But when someone belittles you, disregards you, or treats you like you don't matter, that's not respect, that's contempt. And contempt has no place in your inner circle. You have to be the gatekeeper. You have to decide who gets close and who gets cut off. And once you decide, you must stand by it. The mistake many people make is thinking they can handle disrespect by being stronger, tougher, or more resilient while keeping the disrespectful person around. That's not strength, that's self-sabotage. True strength is removing yourself from people who refuse to treat you with dignity. True strength is creating an environment where respect is the default, not the exception. And here's the powerful thing: once you do this, once you cut out the toxic people and surround yourself with those who genuinely value you, you don't just protect yourself, you elevate yourself. You grow faster, you rise higher. You become stronger because your circle is feeding you respect instead of draining you with disrespect. And here's another truth: the people closest to you teach others how to treat you. When others see that your friends, your family, your partner treat you with respect, they learn that this is the standard. But if they see people close to you dismissing you, mocking you, walking over you without consequence, they will believe they can do the same. Your inner circle sets the tone for the outside world. So if you want respect everywhere, you start by demanding it in the closest spaces of your life. This is why protecting your inner circle isn't just personal, it's strategic. It's how you set the example for how the world interacts with you. Protecting your inner circle also requires courage. It's not easy to distance yourself from people you've known for years, people who share your history, even family members. But you have to ask yourself, what's the cost of keeping them close? Every time you allow disrespect in your circle, you pay with your peace. You pay with your confidence. You pay with your self-worth. And no history, no bloodline, no excuse is worth that price. The harsh reality is some people are not meant to go with you into the next chapter of your life. Some people are meant to be lessons, not lifelong companions. And when you realize that, you free yourself from the guilt of letting them go, and when you do let go, you make space. Space for people who uplift you, space for people who respect you, space for people who see your value and reflect it back to you. The right circle makes you sharper, stronger, more courageous. The wrong circle drains you until you forget who you are. So protecting your inner circle is not about shutting people out, it's about making room for the right people to come in. And when you protect that circle fiercely, when you guard it like your life depends on it, because it does, you create a life where respect is constant, where growth is natural, and where you never again settle for less than you deserve. When someone disrespects you, the natural instinct is to feel hurt, angry, or humiliated. You replay their words, their tone, their behavior over and over again in your head, and you start questioning yourself. That's what disrespect does. It tries to plant doubt. It tries to chip away at your confidence. It tries to make you feel small. But here's the truth: you cannot always control how people treat you, but you can control what you do with it. And the most powerful thing you can do is take that disrespect and turn it into fuel. Instead of letting it weaken you, you let it push you. You let it become the reason you rise higher, work harder, and build a version of yourself that no one can tear down. Every time someone tries to belittle you, you have two choices. You either let it define you, or you let it drive you. Think about it. Some of the strongest, most resilient people you know didn't get there because life was easy. They got there because someone doubted them, disrespected them, told them they weren't good enough, and instead of folding, they used that as motivation to prove them wrong. Disrespect becomes powerful when you reframe it. Instead of saying, "Why did they say that about me?" ask yourself, "How can I use this to sharpen myself?" Instead of stewing in the insult, ask yourself, "How can I make sure that next time I am untouchable?" The energy you waste replaying disrespectful moments could be the energy you invest into your growth, your craft, your health, your purpose. The disrespect doesn't deserve your tears. It deserves to become your trigger for discipline and action. When someone disrespects you, they're showing you a mirror of their own weakness. They're exposing their insecurity, their lack of self-control, or their inability to recognize your value. That has nothing to do with you, so why let it crush you? Instead, let it remind you of who you are. Let it push you to double down on your standards, your goals, and your boundaries. Every time you feel the sting of disrespect, channel that pain into action. Go to the gym and train harder. Sit down and build your business plan. Study more, learn more, improve yourself. Make yourself so strong, so prepared, so unstoppable that the next time someone tries to disrespect you, it bounces right off because you are too focused, too sharp, too grounded to even care. That's how you transform disrespect into drive. You don't absorb it, you redirect it. There's something else that happens when you turn disrespect into motivation. You rob the other person of their power. When someone disrespects you, they want a reaction. They want to see you break, they want to see you flinch, they want to see you lose your cool. That's how they feel in control. But when you stay composed, when you take that energy and silently use it to fuel your success, you deny them that power. They don't get the satisfaction of seeing you crumble. Instead, they have to watch you rise. And nothing destroys a disrespectful person's ego faster than realizing their words didn't stop you, they pushed you. Their disrespect became the reason you leveled up. That's the sweetest revenge. Not yelling back, not lowering yourself to their level, but quietly turning their negativity into the fire that builds your empire. And here's the thing about disrespect. It's inevitable. You can't go through life without someone underestimating you, mocking you, or trying to put you down. You can't stop people from being petty or insecure. But you can decide what role their words play in your life. You can decide whether they hold you back or push you forward. That's your choice. If you keep carrying disrespect like a wound, it will bleed into every area of your life. But if you carry it like fuel, it becomes the spark that lights up everything you do. The same disrespect that could have broken you can be the very thing that builds you. The only difference is how you choose to respond. Some people spend years stuck in the pain of being disrespected. They never move past it. They let it eat at them until they become bitter or resentful. Don't let that be you. Don't waste your life giving power to people who don't deserve it. Take their disrespect and let it be proof that you're worth noticing, that you're worth reacting to, that you're worth trying to pull down. Because here's a fact, no one disrespects someone they see as irrelevant. If someone goes out of their way to humiliate you, it means you matter. It means you've got something they can't stand. That in itself is evidence of your strength. Use it. Let their negativity become your confirmation that you're on the right path, and when you rise because of it, when you transform that disrespect into resilience and achievement, you'll realize something powerful. Those who tried to break you are actually building you. Every insult, every dismissal, every sneer, it became part of your training. It became the resistance that made you stronger. Just like muscles don't grow without resistance, you don't grow without being tested. Disrespect is resistance. And when you learn to use it, it becomes your weight room, your battlefield, your training ground. That's why the people who disrespect you are actually handing you an opportunity, even if they don't know it. The question is, will you take it?